Hello, hello. Amira Alvarez here, founder and CEO of The Unstoppable Woman. So good to be with you here today. I want to talk to you about some insidious places that people pleasing, how it traps us. Sorry, I got a little distracted there. So, how does people pleasing trap us? Well, the obvious things are you're always doing things for other people and you're never putting yourself first. So then you're never putting your business first or your goals or what you're going after gets sidetracked and sidelined to other people's needs. Now, one of the things that is becoming more obvious in this COVID-19 situation that we find ourselves in is that many of the outside pressures of life have dissipated. Now, clearly, if you're homeschooling your kids now, that's an additional pressure that's additive to the situation and probably making you just a little bit crazy. But that aside, many of the other sort of business pressures that were in existence have slowed down. Things have been put on pause, if you will, and there's less of this having to get back to people, pushing for the next thing, looking at the next activity, responding to the emails, all that. Some of that stuff has just slowed down, not for everyone and not in all businesses, but for many people in many businesses. And you want to look at whether you tend to be someone who is reaction driven, meaning you're just reacting to other people's needs. So instead of having an internal strong desire to create something in this world, you are just in a reactive mode so that you're not dropping the ball or letting someone else down or doing something that you could be judged negatively for. If those are your standard motivations, when the outside world quiets down and pauses like it is, you might find yourself lacking some internal motivation. I've spoken to a number of women behind the scenes, some clients, some not, who are talking about like, oh, I'm just like, I don't have the oomph to go out and do things. I know I could be working on all of this stuff that I have been putting off on and I really have wanted to have the time for, but I'm just not doing it. I'm lacking in motivation right now. And you gotta look at what actually drives you as a human being to create in this world. And many people are driven by not letting other people down, that people pleasing aspect of it. And instead, I would ask you to take a step back and use this time to really step it back from that and say, what do I really want? What do I want to create in this world? What do I want to do, be, have? And really go after that. And if you don't have that motivation, then you need to do the heavy lifting and unpack what's actually in your way, getting in your way from claiming what you want and going for it. Okay? Because if you're only dependent on other people outside of you asking you to do something, right? The quiz and the exam that you study for in high school or college, the deadline in the job or the work doesn't translate into living a self-generated life. If you want to be self-generated, you have to do it for yourself, not just working for the deadline, not just working to make sure you hand something off and please something for other people. Now, we want to keep our commitments. We want excellence. We want to go for it, all of that stuff. But, you don't want to not be good to your word, in other words. But you have to look at whether that's something that you're working just for the next thing that the other person needs, or whether you're self-generating your next thing that you need to work on. And look for that little spark of desire and then go act on it and act on it as quickly as you can, because you will get the energy to do the thing when you go do the thing. Action is a bomb. Okay, rock it out, be unstoppable, have an awesome day. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.